Hi everyone, Aidan here at the etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the SumoSprings Solo Custom Helper Springs on our 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Now with this, there's going to be two options. You've got the lighter density blue one and the more medium density black one. They both install the exact same way. One is just going to be a little bit more dense and in turn offer a bit more support, but we'll talk about that right now. So right above your axle, you're going to have a factory jounce bumper. This is going to be the thing that whenever you're maybe towing a heavy load or you've got a lot of weight in the bed and you hit a bump and you feel that shock in your vehicle, your axle is going to hit this. What the SumoSpring aims to do is replace that. And you can see right away, we're pretty much doubling the height here. So we're going to get much quicker engagement out of the SumoSpring, meaning rather than hitting that jounce bumper, we're going to hit this and it's going to offer a little bit smoother compression. Now, I won't lie, it's not going to smooth out the ride quality that much, but if you've ever towed something really heavy, you hit a bump and you kind of feel your vehicle bounce for a while and take a really long time to correct, this is going to help solve that problem. You want to pick the right one for the job, so if you're doing some more heavy towing, get the higher density option. And if you're towing maybe just a lighter trailer, the lighter density option could be a better fit for you. But this will engage and return your vehicle back to a normal ride height much quicker than if you didn't have any suspension enhancement at all. These can also help with vehicle sway. So as we're going down the road, if we maybe get hit by a big gust of wind or hit a pothole on one side and our vehicle kind of jolts to one side, that one side will engage with the SumoSpring and push us back into position. So it can help with that sway control too. Now, comparing this to something like an airbag option, we're not going to have as much adjustment because there really is no adjustment with these. They're fixed. They're one density and they're just going to stay like that all the time. So if you have one trailer that you're always towing, then great. You can match this up and rely on it. And whenever you're not towing, you're probably not going to feel any difference because this isn't making contact with your axle when it's not under load. Whereas with an airbag, it's pretty much always going to have some maintenance PSI in there, so you'll always feel it to some extent, and you can adjust that air pressure in there to accommodate for different trailer weights. So different needs for different people, but again, if you've just got one trailer, something like this I think is a good option because it's maintenance free and you don't have to worry about it as much. And speaking of maintenance free, it's also a really simple install process. It's literally just one bolt, and the old jounce bumper comes off with just one bolt. So the process is really straightforward. You don't need a lift. You can just get a jack and some jack stands, do it at home, and probably have it done in 15 or 20 minutes. So let's check out how to get these installed so you can do it at home yourself. Now the first thing you want to do is jack up the truck. We're going to lift by the hitch here just so that we can let our suspension hang a little more freely. You don't need a set of lifts to do this. You can definitely do it on the ground because there's a lot of space to work. Just make sure that you're doing this safely. We've got the emergency brake on, we've got the front wheels chalked, and we've got our jack stands that we'll put underneath the frame once this back end is up. With some extra room to work and the suspension hanging a little more freely, you want to grab yourself a 10mm socket with an extension and locate the factory jounce bumper. That's going to be just above the rear axle to the inside of the tire. And it's going to be just bolted onto the frame rail. We can use that 10mm socket to remove it. We need that extension to make sure that we can actually reach that 10mm bolt up there, and we can just start to remove this. And you can just set this to the side because we won't be reinstalling it. Now these new SumoSprings are going to be a direct replacement. You're going to have the spring itself, a large metal disc here that will just go on top of the SumoSpring, and an optional 1-inch spacer. You'll use this if you want to apply a little bit more preload, meaning that the SumoSpring is just going to engage a little bit quicker. So if you find yourself maybe towing some really heavy loads and you want that engagement quicker, you can, but if you want a little bit better ride quality and not as quick of contact, then just omit this. We're going to choose to not use that today. If you did choose to use it, take the longer bolts in your kit and use that to reinstall the new SumoSpring there, but we're just going to be using the shorter ones because we're not using the spacer. The kit also includes some blue Loctite. This isn't a permanent install for us, so I'm not going to apply it, but you at home would want to. Then we can just go back under and bolt this where the old one was. The new hardware does use a 17mm socket, and I'm going to use an electric ratchet to give me an easier start here. But once that's snugged up, we can go ahead and remove this and torque it down. It's a pretty low torque spec, but it's just to make sure that everything stays snug while it's up there. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can find one here at eTrailer or check one out at most auto parts stores near you. Then you can just install the other side the exact same way, make sure it gets torqued down properly, and then lower your vehicle back down safely. And that's it. The installation process is really straightforward, and if you're looking for an easy, maintenance-free upgrade to your suspension system, then this could be a good fit for you and your 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Thanks for watching.